The world was built on the solid, simple truth that my father was a hero. Not in the dramatic, comic book sense, but in the quiet, sturdy way that mattered, a man who fixed broken bicycles and knew how to silence crying faucets, whose broad shoulders had carried me through childhood storms and whose laugh could shake the dust from the rafters of our old house. This truth was my bedrock, as constant as the northern star I could never quite find in the city sky. It unraveled on a Tuesday, in the sterile, beige waiting room of a lawyer's office. I was 16, fidgeting with a loose thread on the hem of my winter coat, a nervous habit. The air smelled of old coffee and anxiety. The lawyer, a man with a voice like gravel and tired eyes, spoke words that made no sense: plea bargain, reduced sentence, accessory to armed robbery. They were discussing my father. I kept pulling the thread, watching the neat seam of my coat begin to gap, a small, growing mouth of disarray. I looked at my mother, waiting for her to stand up, to correct this terrible mistake, to defend the man we knew. But she just sat, her hands clenched in her lap, her head bowed in a posture I had never seen before, a posture of shame. I looked at my father. He wouldn't meet my gaze. He was staring at his own hands, those capable hands that had built treehouses and tied fishing knots, now resting limply on his knees. And in that silence, the thread came loose in my hand. The entire tapestry of my life, the stories of his youth spent working on his grandfather's farm, the reason he never went to college, the source of that sudden windfall that had fixed our roof, all of it tore open at once. The farm was a lie. The job he'd supposedly left was a lie. The hero was a criminal. The world didn't tilt, it dissolved. The solid floor of my past became quicksand, every cherished memory now suspect, tainted with this new, awful knowledge. The man sitting beside me was a stranger who had lovingly, meticulously, built